Hi, and welcome back to Archicad Basic Training. And in this lesson, we are going to kind of dive further into the layout book. And more specifically, we are going to talk about master layouts. So these are basically the title blocks that you're going to be using for your drawings. And these range from basically any size drawing, ranging from 8.5 by 11 up to as big as you can imagine. I think there are some certain limitations both in how small and how large, but it's very large and very small. I've used this to create presentation drawings that are very long, like, I don't know, 8 feet long, 4 feet high, or something of that nature. And I do it by creating a master that's associated with it. So let's just look at some of these. So most people will be using either of these two. So of course you're going to have your own layout book. You're going to have your own contents that are going to be associated with it, and it's going to look exactly the way that you want it to look. But if you're just getting started, it's a good place to jump in and kind of manipulate the information as you see fit and create your own title block. But using the Archicad standard layouts as a kind of a basis for your from where you get started in your design is a good place. So with that, you can either go over here and you can go to layer master layout settings here. You can also go to the settings here, or you can right click on the layout, the master layout, and go to the settings here. So let's just go this way. And so here are, so here's the name of your master layout. So I'm going to create, I like arch D, and I'll just put my initials. I'm going to change it so it's the margins are 0.1. I'm going to set the anchor point at the middle. And so it's going to be 36 by 24 drawing, and I'm also going to display master layout. So we'll keep that at below layout, and then so this doesn't have a grid. So if I adjust that and save those settings, you can see it's adjusting it here. So let's just do some. So instead of using my project info, well, let's just do it the correct way. So if I go to project info, and I can go over here, and so let's just change the project name. Let's just make it Your Awesome Home, and let's just put the address. Let's just put it 1 infinity loop. Now let's just make it your address, where you are, your state, 00, and your country. So I'm just making some adjustments. So there you can see it's automatically adjusting my automatic settings. And so that's, you really want to go into your info box and make your adjustments there, because why? When you go to another drawing, it's already set up. So as long as your information is pretty consistent, and then the layout of it is, copacetic with what your design intent is, you can do it this way. Otherwise, you're going to go through each of these drawings and you're going to have to make that adjustment to the naming convention. And I do see that a lot, even to this day, is that people will go in here and modify the information physically, because for whatever reason, and I don't totally agree with it, because if you go to your other drawings, so let's go to our sketch drawings. This is primarily the reason why I see people adjust it physically instead of changing it in the info box, is because you'll have instances like this where you don't catch it until after you've printed out, 20 drawings or whatever. But you can go in here and adjust it, and you can still adjust the properties of this automatic text without having to go and kind of retype all that information. So back to what we were talking about. So definitely go there into your info box and make your adjustments so that you can save yourself some time. And then let's look at this. So this is a detail sheet. So in that detail sheet, so this is all pretty much the same. I'm just going to change these because I do use this as a 0.1 margin. I'd rather be the one who encroaches in the margin versus it limiting me by, whatever, half an inch. So these are all the same. It's still on our ArcD size. And if I go into the grid setup, this is where you'll find these grids kind of defined. So it's going to be a matrix instead of a flat naming convention, or the logic that it's using. So it's saying A are going to be, or letters will, so it'll be alphanumeric going vertically, and it'll be numeric going horizontally. So A, B, C, D, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can change how this works, or the size of it. So if you really just you wanted it to be 5 by 5, so you can see it adjusted it there. You can either have it going from left to right or right to left. So you can have it going from from bottom to top, or from top to bottom. I've actually seen, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, so, and then down. Yeah, so this is what I've seen, is that people will either start from the top right or the bottom left. You can change what the line breakup is like. So this line can be dashed. Actually, when I use this, I make it so it's like really small, very light elements. So hopefully it won't show up. And you can say, so the grid display here, what it's saying is that any drawing that intersects with this grid, or that's been placed inside of this cell, that the surrounding grid elements will be hidden. And so you can either show it, so it'll print, or you can hide it, so you won't be able to see it, and it won't show up when you print it. Also within this, you can say the cells will use the drawing ID from the bottom left, or you can make it so that they use it from the top right, or the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. So basically, any drawing that was in a cell, whatever the top right or top left or bottom, whatever corner that you set it to, it's going to pick up these IDs, and that's how it's going to label it. So let's just be very, let's just make it so that it's very simple to see what we're changing here. And in this one, let's change the margin so that it's like 1/4 of an inch. So you have to be careful with this right setting because it'll go into your title block. So let's just make it 2 inches off of there. And let's see what that looks like. So you can see it's created 9 cells, and it's starting from the upper right, and then it's basically going down. So let's just make one change real quick, and let's just make it so that it's flat. So now we know, so it's flat, and we want it to start at the top right corner. So there, you can see these highlighted things. You can see that there is this dashed line there, and this is the numbering convention. So let's just make one more change because I want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of vertically. So we'll go back to the settings, we'll go to the grid display, and then we'll go horizontal, and that should solve my problem. Yep. So now we have that, and then any drawing that I place onto this master layout setting will. So if I go to, let's just go to the floor plans. So let's change this. So if this is on an F size sheet, I'm going to change it here by clicking on this little window here. And then I can say I want it to be, let's just put it on that NCS drawing that we just created, or the ArchD. Yeah, so this is the one we just manipulated. So you can see that it is, let's just make it smaller. So it's pulling, let's make it so that this is a 1. So to do that, we're going to open up the master layout settings, and then we're going to go to the grid, and we're instead of bottom left, we're going to go to the top right. So you can see it changed it. So instead of it pulling this 9 here from that cell, it's pulling 1 because this little node is inside of that cell. So that's the master layout settings in a nutshell. You can go into a lot more depth with this because really all the sheets that you create for your drawings, from sketches, ASIs, larger sheets, presentation sheets, will all be controlled by these master layout settings. And you can get very creative, and then you can have a very robust set of masters so that when you're creating new documents, say you want this to be a presentation plan, you can put the information, you can have the drawing at the master layouts at your disposal, ready to go when you need to draw certain drawings. All right, well, that is about it for the master layout settings. I hope that was informative, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks.